seen these before?
Oh my gosh, have I ever?
Oh, okay. So
Your questions are amazing.
Let me surprise you.
And my answers are better. So let's go.
All right, Ingrid. Where are you from? Where'd you grow up originally?
Grew up, born and raised in Los Angeles.
South Central or where?
South Central.
South Central.
Yep, but went to school in West LA. Hollywood and West LA. My parents never kept me in South Central as far as school is concerned. So
South Central's a rough neighborhood to grow up in, right?
I mean, it is, but I grew up right around the corner, actually across the street from where one of they call them Fabulous Four or something, Fantastic Four, the guys that beat Reginald Denny. Like, yeah, for some reason, that's the title for the four.
It's a rough neighborhood.
But yeah.
No doubt about it.
I grew up with them in my surroundings. Yeah. So yeah.
And how would you describe your childhood?
My parents were fabulous. Great parents. Didn't love each other for the most part. My mother was in love with my father. My dad did not. He was not. He was a great provider, not a very good husband, but always a great father and a great provider. He was kind of promiscuous, and actually rather promiscuous, and found that out very early, not by way of him doing anything towards me, but just my sister, I'm the youngest, and the closest to me in age is 15 years older. So when I'm 8, plus 15, I mean, my siblings are already in their 20s. So it was very like lonely, I guess, per se. I had my friends, cousins and stuff, but I was kind of a loner. But my parents, they were awesome parents. My dad gave me everything I wanted. My mom, she, they were older. But I learned how to play them against each other to get anything I wanted and to be whoever I wanted to be. I was very confused growing up. Went through an identity crisis. Really didn't even know that there was different races until I was in junior high school. First time I ever heard somebody say the word nigga, I was in 7th grade. And which is crazy when you grow up on Manchester and Normandy. Like, when is that, like, that's, yeah, it's kind of weird. But anyway, never knew anything about drugs and different things. Found out later that my family had some association with drugs, but it was never associated with me. I smoked weed growing up, like 12 years old, started drinking, smoking weed, and just never thought, anything could really conquer me. I started doing powder, not until I was in my 20s. And next thing you know, it was like, wow, here's, some powder mixed with baking soda and water, and who would have known the difference that it made in a person's life? It made a big difference. It took my kids, it took my family, it took me from me. I went to college. Everything that I would have wanted growing up, I was given. And everything I could have had, I had the opportunity to get. And the only thing that bothers me is my parents passing before they saw me do something different with my life. My father passed away in 2018, and my mother passed away in 2019. And
I'm sorry.
I went through a lot of abuse with relationships. My son's father, I have a daughter and a son. My daughter is she's 18. She'll be 19 next year, but yeah, she's 18. But my son is 9, and I actually was a mom to her at some point in time. And I know a lot of these girls on the street, a lot of these women on the street, they have kids, they don't have the opportunity to be a parent. And it hurts for us that have been that parent. It's painful when you have your child, like, taken from you. But at the same time, It's the realization, the real comfort in it is knowing their safety because of where you could have sent them and brought them, dragging them into your lifestyle with you. I didn't start being on the street. When I started doing drugs, like hard drugs, I had money and it wasn't a problem. It was during like the whole economic breakdown time and all that. So I was going through, I had, about like 6,000 coming in a month, 5,000 coming in a month. So it was like, okay, I could splurge a little bit and, it's not big, huge money, but for just somebody working a regular 9 to 5, it was like still nice to not have to work and you're just getting free money. And, I didn't realize what I was pulling myself into or allowing myself to go into. I thought I could conquer everything. And it's like people say drugs, when you do drugs, you do them because you are trying to hinder your mind from something painful that you've gone through. Maybe in some cases, I think for most, for most, it's more or less you think you have the ability to conquer everything. I think the hindrance comes during the process of doing them, I mean, hey, baby. Once you go through the effect of losing your children and different things like that, those are the things that make you hurt. Can I have my liquor, please? Oh, he was emptying my glass. Oh, he's such a sweetheart. But yeah. But then I met the streets and didn't know anything about the streets, and the streets hurt me a lot. They made me realize a lot, but they built me up a lot. And thank you, babe. And I'm grateful for the fact that every trial I've gone through has only made me stronger. It's made me, in some way, shape, or form, smile through all the pain and the tears. And it made me meet the love of my life, And that's who he is, The love of my life.
You want to say hi? Poke your head in the camera. You've been on my channel before.
The love of my life.
New York.
And it's crazy because, he met me on the street.
So you had a good childhood.
My childhood. I had a very comfortable childhood.
But how does a girl that has a childhood like that end up in the streets?
Thinking she can run everything. I thought I could control everything. I could run everything. I have a college degree. I mean, it's like I went to college. I did what you would expect for a person to do, like with parents that built them in that manner. But when I was 2, I was molested. I just recently found that out. But when I was 6 years old, I was molested I took piano lessons for 14 years. And my piano teacher, I started private lessons with at 6 years old, molested me. And I don't remember it. I remember one day seeing him, and I was 18 years old, and I was already in my second year of college because I graduated from high school at 16. And I saw him, and my mom said, "Oh, look, come see who's at the front door." It was during my spring, summer break. And I saw him, and face to face, I peed on myself. And I didn't know why. What the hell? Dude, I'm 18 years old. What the fuck is going on here? When I went to sleep that night, I had a flashback of just him behind me, like jacking off behind me while I was sitting at the piano and me turning around. And I just remembered that terrifying feeling that I felt. And I don't know how long it went on. I have no clue to this day how long it went on. I don't know what else he had done to me. I don't know why I felt like it was such a bad thing for me to see, you know? Because when you're 6, if you turn around and you see somebody doing something, you probably be like, what is he doing? And turn back around, you know? And that made me wonder. And I found out a few years later that the preschool I went to, I was 2 years old. It was around the corner from my house. It was called, I would say the name, but I don't want to put names out there like that. But the school, I don't know what happened, but my mom said after the 3rd day, she knew she could never send me back there again. And she didn't know why. She said I would hold on to the top of the car and to the point my fingernails were bleeding. So I would not go back. Please, mommy, no, mommy, no, mommy. 2 years old. And when she told me that, I said, it had to have happened to me before. Somebody had to have done that to me then. And it's a friend of mine. Well, she's not a friend of mine. She's an associate on Figueroa. And, you know, it's crazy because God puts us, I was born and raised in church. God puts us in some situations that we don't even know he's going to put us in or why or where we're going to be. And it's so amazing to me. And I praise him for it and I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for every bad experience, everybody I've met. I've only been arrested one time, never for prostitution, never like anything. But the day that I got arrested, which was actually probably 2 months ago, it was a girl that stays right down the street from me at a motel. And I don't know what made me bring it up, but I brought up that story. And she said, "Ooh, girl," she said, "it was a lady that that babysat me when I was about 3, 4 years old." She said, up until I was about 8, she said, and she molested me in her name, and she gave me her name. And it was the same lady whose school I went to. And I knew right then that that's what happened to me when I was 2. And I was the first kid to get to the school. The only people there was the owner of the school and the security guard. And I don't know what happened. I was 2 years old, you know? But I know my childhood doctor always told me, she would even tell my parents, she said something happened to her. I don't know what, but you know, it's, once again, it's a reason why God puts you in certain places. And I'm the black sheep of the family, per se, but for my mom's children. However, I miss my mom. She was my best friend. She knew everything. Even me being on the street, she knew everything about me. You know, I miss my kids. My daughter, she's 18, my son is 9. But I miss my babies. I miss being a mom. I hate drugs. Okay. I'm okay. You know, thank you. It's like the people I met, half these bitches on Figueroa can't stand me. You know, and the one I feel closest to me, a few of them I feel closest to me, out of them, a couple of them have done me really bad and really dirty, and I've done a couple of them really dirty. And But the one thing I would say is, we don't understand how much we connect. We really don't. Regardless of our background, regardless of where we've been, it ain't no bougie shit, it ain't no hoe shit, it ain't no ghetto shit. It's us. Because we came together regardless. Why are we together? Only because of God. God put us together. And like, to not get that is like stupidity. It really is. Yeah. So, yeah. Any more questions? Ooh, I love my little swing in the chair. No.
I've seen a lot of commenters on my channel complain about my
So what would you like
revolving chair,
yeah.
but I think it's therapeutic for people when they're going
I
through
know,
talks
no,
like this.
I love it. Plus, I was in modern, I was in modern jazz. I did all of that. I was a cheerleader, vocal coach, and like I said, I play piano. Like, I took 14 plus years lessons. I have so many trophies, it's stupid. I was in debutantes, I was in pageants, I was, like I said, college. And
So your perfect childhood had some dark spots.
I mean, there is no such thing as a perfect childhood.
No, but you're...
And I mean, it's like the school I went to, all my friends that, I went trick-or-treating in Bel Air, but I lived on 83rd in Normandy. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I mean, it's like, dude, that's a big difference.
They're opposites.
Yeah, very opposite. But I mean, I was a cheerleader. My daughter, she was a cheerleader. I hate the pain I put her through more than anything, I would say. I hate that my son has never really had stability. And I hate that it's all because of my lifestyle that I chose to be selfish with. And I hate even more that even as I change, my progression has not been faster or quicker by way of them being in a better position or mindset or comfortability, I mean, my son's father, the pain I endured by way of him abuse, I had never been in a fight in my life till I was in my 30s. And that was when he hit me for the first time and knocked my eye out of my socket. I was temporarily blind.
Knocked your eye out of your socket?
My eye was dislocated in three places. This eye right here, that's why it stays black. Yes, sir.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I noticed you had a black eye, but that's not from recently.
I will tell you like this. Since in the past, okay, I'm 41. So since I was 30 years old, I never had a fight before I was 30 in my life. Since I was 30, I've been shot twice. I've had my head busted open, hit in the head 20 times with a 10-pound weight, by someone who later on became a roommate of mine, a very close friend of mine, and I still love her to death like a sister. How weird is that? Let's see. I've had about probably 15 bones broken, fingers, hands, feet, even this foot right here. My foot is tough. My bone sticks out on the bottom. Now we're talking about a girl who is just, my eye has been knocked out the socket. My nose has been broke 4 times. My daughter and my mother have both seen me jerk down the street by my hair.
These are all hazards of the occupation you're in?
And and that's the crazy thing. All of that was before I even, I'll say, okay, up until, look, the shooting, okay. The eye socket, the nose, the breaks in the hand, and probably that. All of that was beforehand. Really, the only thing that's happened since then is the head. Isn't that crazy? I didn't start dating until I haven't been dating, but I'm 41. I haven't been dating but for about, maybe 8, 7, not even 7 years. One day, my son's father told me, we were smoking crack, and he said, leave, and when you go, come back with some money or some dope, or don't come back at all. And that was during the 100 days, 100 nights thing that they had going on, whatever that was. I can't remember how long ago it was. And that was the first date I ever had. And I went, and this guy said, I'll give you $250 for 20 minutes. And that was the first date I ever had. And that was to me, so degrading. Because putting a price tag on yourself is so, but I didn't want to be outside. I had no shoes on. I had no clothes on. I had a t-shirt on. And it was pouring down rain. And I will never forget that night. But that night changed my life in a very big way. It made me never have to ask anyone for anything ever again. Without me realizing, bitch, you never had to ask anybody for anything anyway. You got a college degree, you got this and that going for you. Like, all you got to do is put a pipe down. But hey, life. Life shows up. I always tell people one thing. I say, my biggest thing is just remember, oh shoot, I almost made it.
Sure.
No, my biggest thing is this, like, always remember, you never want to wake up and wonder what yesterday looked like. That's just the biggest thing. And also, everything is a not yet. Everything in life, for anybody, is a not yet. I never thought, hell, I didn't even know what cocaine looked like until I took a snort. And I was in my 30s, I was like 20, no, I was about 27. But, I mean, really?
Is cocaine or alcohol bigger?
Oh my God.
Addiction?
Alcohol is my number one. I love to drink. And it scared me because my daughter told me one day, she said, Mom, what scares me is when you drink. And I never thought of it like that. But my mom, until I was about 8 years old, my mom was an alcoholic. And one day she just became a churchaholic. But, which is, I'm grateful for. But I remember being very scared, just little flashes of just being scared. But she was abused in her previous marriage, the marriage previous to my father. And, that's how she dealt with it. And I noticed, that's how I dealt with my pain. My grandmother, she drank. My grandmother was German and Spaniard. She was very racist. She sold my mom, My dad, I never met his parents because my parents were my dad was born in 35, my mom was born in 45. So, I mean, it's I was literally the unexpected surprise, the beautiful surprise. But yeah, I've talked a lot.
So the alcohol is what led you, the alcohol addiction is probably in the crack.
Alcohol, but it's
streets?
alcohol is what makes everything okay. What makes it seem like everything, alcohol makes you forget. It makes me forget. It puts a smile. It's what makes it easy to do anything. And I mean, like I said, I'm not on the streets right now, but alcohol makes it very easy to suffice to giving yourself and your all. When really you don't have to. It makes the pain go away. Better to me than drugs. And that's why it scares me. Because it runs in my family. Alcoholism, it's a big thing in my family. But I would say if I had a drug of choice, alcohol all the time.
What's your biggest regret in your life?
My biggest regret? is my now. I regret that I know what I should do when I walk out this door. That I know what I should do when I walk in my house. That I know what I should do on Sunday morning. That I know what I should do every night, every day, and don't do it. Just let go. Just accept. Just really humble myself to my enemy, my worst fear, which is my mind. That is my regret, that I don't humble myself to my mind. It's a dangerous thing. And I'm very scared that I don't think my demise will ever be crack cocaine. I don't think my demise will be alcohol, but I think my demise will just be. However, I don't want to be maimed because of my choices. You know, I don't want to be like, I don't want to stop because it's something that has to happen so I can survive and live on a, you know, just a life that's not free, you know?
You have a
healthily free.
Do you have a self-destructive streak?
I honestly believe I am. I'm scared. I'm scared as fuck. I'm scared. I'm scared of what my daughter will become. I don't think she would turn to the streets, but just the pain. If anything, if she lost me, the pain. I mean, my son, I never had my son. You know, I love my son to death, and my son loves me. I'm sorry. But my son is my baby, but my daughter is my heart. She's my soul. And it's not to pick one over the other, but I watched her take a first step. I saw her potty train. I saw her, you know, first day at school. And to hurt her hurts me so much. And what hurts me more is the fact that I don't stop hurting her. And she's so strong. Damn, she's strong. Anywho, I lost her because I tested positive. Well, my son tested positive for cocaine in his system when he was born. And it took me years to admit that I smoked in my pregnancy or that I did drugs. And, you know, I could have killed my son. I could have killed him. That's crazy. What kind of parent does that? So those are the things that kind of make me suffice to drinking more and more, going on the street, just, you know, just not even going on the street, but drinking, you know, which leads to uncareless decisions. And, you know, my thing is I never looked at it as hoeing or, you know, and I always looked at it as entertainment with benefits. Because I wanted to hear I was pretty. I wanted somebody to tell me I was pretty and stuff like that. Like putting a price tag on yourself. How do you put a price tag on priceless? Like, I'm priceless. But so, like, that part was, like, crazy to me. You know, I take donations, baby.
But you get addicted to this lifestyle.
Huh?
You get addicted to this lifestyle, and it leads to...
Well, it's not even that you get addicted. It's easy. It's easy. Easy money. Easy, you know.
Yeah, but that leads to the you get addicted to the
you want
fast
to hear
money.
about the hoeing? No. Okay, so look, so I was on Western. I remember it was a guy that I used to buy drugs from, and he told me one day. He said, "I'm not your man." He said, "You want to get some money? Shoot, you did it once before." And this was after everything happened with, baby daddy and putting me out there and all that. And it became the entertainment money. I was making money. I could pay my rent, all that, but I couldn't afford rent and this and my habit. You can't afford rent and a habit. Like, that's a lot. Rent, car note, habit, Jesus Christ. And bills? Oh, wow. Like, that's a lot. Because my habit, when I went to my first program, they have you break down how much you spend. And it's crazy. I spent $400 to minimum $400 a day on crack cocaine. And I'm a chick with no job. How do you spend that? Every fucking day. What is that? Like, it's like, and they make you multiply it by 7. Okay. So now we had 28. Then they make you multiply the 28 by, it's like, God damn, like, I don't even want to I don't want your math anymore. How much money would I have a year from not smoking? So that means how much of my body am I giving up? How much of my soul am I giving? What my parents put so much effort into. And before my mother died, my son's father, this is the coldest thing ever. My son's father told her, my mom had stage 4 cancer, and she had her son since birth. He called her and said, hey, he was mad at me. Hey, you ever want to find your daughter? Just go on Western. Any block. You'll probably see her jumping out of the car getting in one. She asked me about it. She said, he told me something, I don't want to believe it. She said, but if it's true, you will never see your children again. She said, I just don't believe it. And I knew what she was going to say. And she told me. And I hung up the phone from her and I called her the next morning. And I told her it was true. And I said, Mom, you're my best friend. You don't deserve to think anything less of being that. I said, however, because this is something that was brought to you. And I mean, my mom died like a month and a half later. Like, I mean, it's like she died feeling like her baby was off. By way of a man who she was taking care of his child since birth. My mom was 73 years old when she died. There's no reason why she had to raise a child. My son being 9 right now. My mom died in 2019. Hello, do the math. 7 years. She had her son. And that's what you chose to tell her? But I don't hate him. I pity him. I pity his choices. And I never blamed him, even though he's the first person who ever said, if you don't bring a rock or a dollar back. Same one that knocked my eye out the socket. The same man that dragged me down the street by my hair. The same one my daughter cries every day because he has my son right now and won't even let me talk to my son on the phone to this day. Because my sister just couldn't do it no more. She had my son after my mom died. She can't do it no more. And because he has certain opportunities I don't, that would give my son a better privilege, it was the better option. And because of that, I have to go into a program, and I will go. I am going. Actually, very soon. Yay me. Maybe that'll be my second interview.
What would you say is the most important lesson you've learned in your life?
everything is a not yet. Nobody is any better, you know. There is no such thing as never. Everything is a not yet. Even if you never go through it, you know. It's like just knowing that this person that's right here, even around the corner from us, is no different than me. I could have on high heels. Maybe I've been out here. I lived in cars. I've lived in tents. I've done all that. But my God is good, you know. But humbleness, being humble, like that's the key. Humility, like just really realizing what is the bigger picture, you know. Looking at the whole, like they say in program, they say play out the whole tape, you know. And understanding that insanity is not only doing the same thing, accepting a different result, but also realizing that you are the different result in yourself, not the situation. Changing yourself, you know? Insanity is insanity, but people look at it as everything other than them. That's what's crazy. We always look at insanity as everything other than us. No, we are the insane one. We're the one that keep repeating the same thing. They say repeating the same action, expecting a different result. People look at it as, oh yeah, I'm repeating the same action, walking into it. Instead of realizing, no, you're going into it the exact same way, idiot. It's not everybody else, it's you, dumb yummy. But God is good. Hey, life is great, you know. I don't, honestly, when you say regret, I don't regret because it made me strong. I love some of the people I've grown very close to, which you've met some of them, but I really, really have grown a strong appreciation for truth and understanding, you know. There's no mistakes in life, you know. There's only growth, you know. I mean, hell, we with age comes wisdom. I'm getting older. That's all I can appreciate. So God is good. Hey. All right, Mark.
All right, thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
You're very interesting.
Yeah. Hey.